Hey class, this is Dr. Martino again. This is the sixth and last video in the short PV loop short video series. And the final PV loop that we have here is we've moved from the left ventricle to the right ventricle. This one should be a shorter video. We're just going to point out some differences between the right and the left heart. So in the left heart, right, the loop is bigger because the pressures are higher. You don't need as much pressure in the right heart because the right heart is only pumping through the loop of the lungs and back to the heart. So it goes from the heart through the lungs back to the heart. So the pressures don't have to be great. So the pressures range anywhere from 25 millimeters of mercury to about 40, 50 millimeters of mercury. Where in the left heart, right, they range from about 80 to 120 and go up from there. The volume of the right ventricle is the same. The chamber sizes are almost identical. Almost. Okay? So the starting volume is going to be roughly the same, about 75 mils. The ending volume is going to be roughly the same, about 140 mils. The change in the pressure won't be that great. You're going to be starting at pressures of about 25 to open up. And this is where the pulmonary, right? This is where the pulmonary valve opens up for the pulmonary artery, which is the artery that takes blood from the right ventricle to the lungs. And it's deoxygenated blood, which goes through the lungs, becomes oxygenated, and comes back to the left atrium. So the peak pressure is going to be a lot lower. In this case, it's going to be 40, and then it's going to come back over. You still have a diastolic curve. You still have a systolic pressure curve. You have all of the pieces that you would have in the left side of the heart, except that everything's smaller. So that's really the difference. There aren't many more differences. You could essentially apply all of the examples that we did for the left heart here. You could have the inotropic effect, congestive heart failure, and so on and so on. Apply exercise and other things. So that's really the difference. That's really the last video in this group. The next video or two will deal with something called Wigger's diagram, which is associated with the PV loop and actually has a time component, because remember, this is pressure and volume. All right, then. Thank you for listening.